The Grand Council chamber of the Valyrian Empire stretched across 3 kilometers of polished obsidian, its vaulted ceiling displaying a live feed of the conquered galaxies that sparkled like jewels in the cosmic void. Commander Mia Chen stood at the center of it all, her hands clasped behind her back, her expression unreadable as 1,000 alien eyes fixed upon her small, fragile form. This is what dared to resist us, High Executor. Zalthor's voice boomed through the chamber, his forearms gesturing dismissively at the human woman, a species so weak they require artificial environments just to breathe on most worlds. Mia said nothing. She had been brought here as a curiosity, a specimen from Earth after humanity's colony on Proxima had been discovered. The Valyrians had expected surrender. They had received silence instead. Your species was warned, Zalthor continued, leaning forward on his throne of crystallized dark matter. When our scout ships first detected your primitive radio signals, we sent a message. Submit to the Empire or be erased, yet you sent no response. Do you understand what happens to civilizations that ignore the Valyrian Empire? I understand perfectly, Mia replied, her voice calm and measured. You've destroyed 47 species in the last millennium alone. You believe yourselves apex predators of the universe. A ripple of surprised chatter spread through the assembled council members. Zalthor's facial tendrils twitched with amusement. At least you have done your research. Then you know resistance is futile. Your people number barely 8 billion. We are trillion strong, spanning 10,000 worlds. Your weapons are chemical propellants and primitive nuclear devices. We manipulate space-time itself. What possible threat could you pose? Mia allowed herself the smallest smile. You were warned too, Executor. 3 months ago, we sent our own message. Warned? Zalthor laughed, a sound like grinding stone. By what authority does a child species warn the Valyrian Empire? By the authority of survivors, Mia said quietly. You see, Executor, you're not the first to underestimate humanity. We've been underestimated before. By nature, by disease, by each other. And we're still here. On Earth, 40 light-years away, Leo Martinez sat in the command center of Cheyenne Mountain, his fingers dancing across holographic displays. Around him, the collected genius of humanity's greatest minds worked in synchronized silence. The Valyrians had made a fatal assumption, that humanity's technology was limited to what they had observed in the Proxima colony. They had no idea what humanity was capable of when properly motivated. Quantum entanglement network is live, Leo announced, his voice steady despite the weight of 8 billion souls resting on his shoulders. We have connection with all 200 platforms. The platforms had been humanity's secret for 50 years, built in the dark spaces between stars, powered by technologies reverse-engineered from the single Valyrian probe that had accidentally crashed on Earth decades ago. Technologies the Valyrians assumed primitive humans couldn't possibly comprehend. They were wrong. Back in the council chamber, Zalthor had grown tired of the conversation. Enough of this tedious posturing. Your colony at Proxima will be sterilized within the hour. As for Earth, we will arrive within the week to accept your unconditional— No, Mia interrupted. You won't. The chamber fell silent. No one interrupted a high executor. The penalty was immediate vaporization. But Zalthor was curious. And why not, little human? Because 3 months ago, when we sent our warning, we told you about the doctrine of mutual assured destruction. We explained that humans, when cornered, don't surrender. We take our enemies with us. Mia's eyes hardened. You should have listened. Leo's hands moved across the final sequence. All platforms armed. Targeting solutions confirmed. Valyrian throne world military installations and the 47 occupied species homeworlds have been designated for liberation. Sir, a young technician called out, her voice shaking slightly. Are we really doing this? If we fire, there's no going back. Leo looked at her, then at the faces of everyone in the command center. The Valyrians have a saying, the strong devour the weak. They've built an empire on that principle. Today they learn a human saying, don't start none, won't be none. He pressed his palm against the authorization panel. All platforms, you are weapons free. Across the void of space, 200 hidden platforms awoke. Each one carried a payload that would have been impossible by known physics, except humans had stopped caring about impossible the moment someone told them space travel couldn't be done. Mia checked her concealed neural link. The signal was transmitted. Executor, in approximately 30 seconds, your throne world will detect 200 quantum-tunneling warheads materializing in low orbit. They cannot be intercepted because they don't travel through normal space. They cannot be deflected because they exist in a state of superposition until the moment of detonation. Zalthor's face went through several colors not typically associated with his species. You're bluffing. Such technology is theoretical even for us. Yes, Mia agreed. Theoretical. Right up until 3 months ago when we sent you the specifications along with our warning. We even included the energy signatures so you could verify we'd actually built them. She tilted her head. You thought it was a hoax, didn't you? The executor's communications officer suddenly screamed, her translator barely keeping up with the panic. Hi, Executor! Massive quantum fluctuations detected. 200 signatures appearing over the throne world. They're real. They're all real. The chamber erupted into chaos. Zalthor's voice cut through it like a blade. You would doom your entire species over one colony. That's insanity. That's humanity, Mia corrected. You threatened our home. You attacked our people. You thought we were weak because we're small. But you forgot to ask the most important question. What question? Zalthor demanded, his voice nearly breaking. How did a species as primitive as us manage to spread across our own solar system in less than a century? How did we survive ice ages, supervolcanoes, plagues, and 2 world wars that nearly destroyed us? Mia's smile was cold now. We're not the strongest species. We're not the smartest, but we're the most stubborn and we never ever stop adapting. Leo watched as the countdown reached 0, but he didn't initiate detonation. Instead, he opened a galaxy-wide channel that would reach every species under Valerian control. People of the occupied worlds, this is humanity. For 50 years we've watched you suffer. Today we offer you a choice. Join us in freedom or remain slaves. But know this, the Valerian Empire ends today one way or another. In the council chamber, Mia continued. Right now, those warheads are armed over your throne world and every major military installation you have. But they haven't detonated. We're giving you the same choice you gave us, Executor. Surrender or be erased. You can't. Zalthor struggled to form words. We can, we will. But unlike you, we'd prefer not to. Mia's expression softened slightly. Humanity didn't want this war. We would have been happy to be left alone. But you came to our door with threats and demands. So we'll give you 24 hours to withdraw from every occupied world. Release the species you've enslaved. Dismantle your war fleets or... She didn't need to finish the sentence. Leo watched as the tactical display updated. Valerian ships were already beginning to withdraw from occupied systems. The message had been received loud and clear across the Empire. 23 hours later, the Valerian Empire officially dissolved. The 47 enslaved species were free, and humanity, the newest and weakest species on the galactic stage, had accomplished what centuries of rebellion could not. Mia returned to Earth a week later to a hero's welcome. As she stood beside Leo watching the celebrations, she couldn't help but feel the weight of what they'd done. Do you think we did the right thing? She asked quietly. Leo considered the question carefully. We showed the universe that being human means standing up for what's right even when it's terrifying. We were warned to submit. We warned them to leave us alone. They didn't listen. He paused. Maybe now they'll take humanity seriously. Above them, the stars shone a little brighter, and in the darkness between them, the platforms remained vigilant. A reminder to anyone watching, humanity had arrived on the galactic stage and they were nobody's prey. The Empire had been warned about humans, they just hadn't taken it seriously. Until it was too late.